The following is paid programming.
It's time to talk taxes.
New friends, new opportunities, new partners. EG Tax.
It's Ask the Tax Lady with Esther Gulius and EG Tax on News Radio 930 WBEN. To reach Esther now, call 803-0930. Toll free at 1-800-616-9236. And cell calls are free at star 930. And now, live from the WBEN studios, it's Esther Gulius.
Hey, everybody, this is Esther Gulius, the tax lady, and I bet you're sitting and want to say, what the heck would Esther have to say? Well, look at now the fun begins, because now all those tax returns are filed, and you're going to get letters, and you're going to get shorted refunds, and all that kind of stuff. And the other thing is we want to make sure you plan for next year, so if what happened last week was a catastrophe, we don't want it to be a catastrophe next year. So my phone number in studio is 803-0930. 803-0930, star 930 on a cell phone, and we want to hear what you have to say. And we got Tiffany Fabian in studio. Hey, Tiff.
Hey there, Esther. I'm just a happy camper.
I'm telling you, it's wonderful, isn't it?
Oh, God. It's a good day.
Yeah, it really is. Even though it's a little chilly. It is sunny.
I'll take it.
It's sunny.
I'll take it.
Yeah, anyway, we did lots of tax returns that last week. There were people that owed all kinds of money. And if you're somebody like that, that owed a lot of money and you haven't filed because you owe, that's the worst decision that you can make, because the big penalty for is failure to file your return, which is 5% per month until it gets to 25%. That's a lot of money. So you want to make sure that you get that return in. And the closer to the deadline, which was the 18th, that you get it filed, the better that the less the penalty is. So you want to make sure that if you haven't filed and you've been sitting around, you say, I don't want to file, I know I owe money, we're going to help you, because we're going to help you set up a payment program, and we're going to help you so that this doesn't happen again next year. And so if you are one of those people out there that haven't done it, and the other thing is, if you didn't do your FBAR, there's a lot of people that are U.S. citizens that are living in Canada, or U.S. citizens with income in Canada, interest from savings accounts that exceed $10,000. You want to make sure you get your FBAR in. That was due on the 15th of April, and so you want to make sure that that's done, and you don't want to be penalized. And the penalty is up to $10,000 or half the value of the.
I also want to say
account.
We did lots of tax returns on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday. If you don't owe, or even if you do owe, you can still come in and file. I can't believe the amount of people we did after the fact.
Right. There's a lot of people that know that they're getting a refund and they know there's no penalty.
That's right.
But here's the thing. What the taxing agencies are doing now is, if they think that they'd like clarification on a deduction or a credit that's on your return, what they do are they're sending, in many cases, a shorted refund. Okay, and then you just say, wow, I was supposed to get $4,000 and I only got $2,000. What's up? They're going to send you a letter, but if you don't respond to the letter and all you accept is the money that they're sending you, and you don't respond, then they're going to keep the rest of your money. So you want to make sure that if you get a shorted refund, that you get ready to prove the deduction or credit that you took on your tax return. You send it in, and then they'll send you the rest of your money.
That's right. And then even if I've had lots of people who forget stock sales, and then once they get a letter about forgetting stock sales, then the IRS says, okay, now we want to examine your child and dependent care and your college credit. So then they open it up and look at everything else.
Right, which means you're getting audited.
Right.
Now, when you get audited, the burden of proof is on you to prove what's on your tax return. Mm-hmm. So don't overreact. Make sure you get all your stuff together, and then when you send everything in, if it's a through the mail audit, make it so it's clear. Make maybe a synopsis. One is for, look at one, here's my proof of the 1098-T for my kid that's in college. And so you want to make sure it's clear and respond as soon as possible and save proof for your records that you responded. I had a client the other day that got a bill from New York State for $4,300 because his broker had sent in the New York State estimate, but somehow the state of New York didn't record it properly. And so we got the proof and we sent it in. And so that's going to adjust that. So that's the important things. You want to make sure that you don't overreact and don't ignore it. It's not going to go away. And you certainly want to make sure that, and if you need help, EG Tax is there to help you.
Yeah, and then this year, partnerships were a month earlier this year. So if you got a fine for getting in your partnership late, contact us and we could type up a letter at least to see if there's a legitimate reason.
Yeah, I mean, well, you want to ask to have it waived. If you haven't had a penalty before,
Right.
Many times they will waive it, but partnerships were due March the 15th.
Right.
And the penalty for failure to file is very substantial. So you want to make sure that you get your partnership filed. And if you do get a letter, you can call EG Tax, and that's a service that we provide at no charge.
That's right.
I'm Esther Gulias, the tax lady from EG Tax, 803-0930. 803-0930, star 930 on a cell phone. Okay, so what if you owed money? I had people on the 18th that owed money, and they were petrified,
Right.
about what they were going to do, and they really didn't want to send in the return, but that was the worst thing they could do, is not send in the return. So what's going to happen is you can set up a payment program with the federal and state of New York, and
Yeah.
they will accept payments. Now, they're going to charge you interest and penalty for failure to pay.
Right.
But the failure to pay penalty is pretty small compared to the failure to file penalty.
Right. And they will spread it, the 9465, which is the installment agreement, over 6 years. And it's pretty reasonable. And you're right. The failure to pay is much more lenient.
Now, because they'll let you pay over 6 years, if next year you owe money again, and the year after that you owe money again, that's not solving the problem. You want to make sure that if you were somebody that owed money this year, that you fix it so that you don't owe money next year. And that would be usually, especially if you're a person that's working, is changing your W-4 at work.
Right.
There
That's
are some
right.
people that claim 5 and 6 allowances, and they should really drop it down to 1 or 2. And again, if you need help with that, this is the time of year. It's already April.
Right. That's what I tell people. You're already your first quarter in, almost ending the first quarter. And another thing is you might want to change your 401k or your 403b contribution, because that will also help the answer come tax time.
So if you put more money into your 401k or 403b, that's money that's not going to show up on line 7 next year.
Right.
And that'll help you. But also, if you're claiming 7 or 8 allowances and you don't own a home and your kids are out of the house, it's not going to work. The math just does not work in that situation.
Yeah.
So you want to change your W-4, and you want to change it sooner rather than later.
Another nice thing is the HSA, putting money into your HSA. That's also a
What
good
does HSA stand for?
health savings account. And so that's a really good idea too. That lessens the amount of taxable income too. And so that's always something you can turn to.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm Esther Gulias, the tax lady from EG Tax, 803-0930. 803-0930, star 930 on a cell phone. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back with you and your calls after the break.
Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun, and I say
It's all right. I'll tell you, it is all right with me. I'm Esther Gulias, the tax lady. It's all right if you got your taxes done. If you didn't and you owe money, it may not feel all right, but we're going to help you to make it all right. If you owe money, like Tiff said, you can set up a payment program. If you owe a lot of money, EG Tax can help you with an offer and compromise. Tiff, why don't you explain what an offer and compromise is?
Sure. So an offer and compromise, you hear those commercials all the time where they say, we can help you pay pennies on the dollar. So if you have this large tax debt and you have to have all your tax returns filed, then you can submit to the IRS an offer and compromise where you'll present all your financials and your means of paying and your assets. And you'll say, if I give you, after you do the math, there's an equation and there's a calculation, I can give you $2,000 And that's what I've got. That's all I have. That's all I can muster.
And I have no ability to
I
pay.
have no ability to pay. And so then you submit the facts and all your finances, and we can help you with that. And they'll say, yes, we'll accept this, or no, we won't. And one thing, when I'm always talking to somebody about an offer in compromise, is you really can't have a lot of assets. You can't have a house. You can't have rental property, and you don't have
With
the means
asset
to
value.
pay.
In other words, if you're between a rock and a hard place, and you know if you are, right, you just can't pay it, you're a perfect candidate.
Right.
Because they really want to help you to get out of your tax dilemma so that you'll want to earn money so they
Right.
can make some money.
That's right. That's
Okay.
right.
I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone, and I got Sue in East Aurora. Hey, Sue.
Hello. I have a question for you regarding the health savings account.
Yeah.
Now, if you buy your insurance through the marketplace, are those premiums deductible on the health savings account?
They're deductible on the Schedule A.
No, she's
Okay, on
she's saying, can you
Schedule
use
A.
your HSA
So in
to
other
pay?
words, that would be a normal itemized deduction, correct?
What you pay for the
Right,
premiums.
Right.
Yeah.
Would be an-
Oh,
okay.
well, so in other words, they're not deductible. What do I want to say? They're not deductible through a health savings account. In other words, you couldn't put the money in and then pay for your premiums out of the money from your health savings account.
I don't think so. I'm going to get clarification from Tim, our healthcare navigator, but I don't think you could put the premiums in your HSA.
What she's saying, can you use the HSA money to pay the premiums? Isn't that what you're saying, Sue?
Yes, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, I think you can.
You can't. I'll get
You know what? We're
clarification.
going to get a clarification, though. Okay.
And then I just wanted to say, when you get health insurance through the marketplace, did you get a 1095A this year, Sue?
Yes,
Okay, and so you made sure that you did the allocation when you did your tax return this year
yes.
on the
Okay.
8965
All right,
and the
but
8962.
if you keep listening, Sue, before on the other side of the news, we'll have a definitive answer for
I'm going to
you.
text
Okay?
Tim and find out.
Okay. Yes,
All right,
I
thanks, Sue.
appreciate that. Thank
All right,
you very
good enough.
much.
Thank you. I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady from EG Tax, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone. The other thing is when you owe money to the IRS, many people have the money to pay it, to pay the obligation. If you have the money in a savings account or a checking account or stocks, those would be three non-taxable events, stocks potentially taxable, but pay up the IRS debt and the state of New York debt. That kind of debt is not the kind of thing you want hanging around. So if you have the ability to pay outside of an offer and compromise or outside of a payment arrangement with them, that would be the best thing to do too. Let's go back to Beth in Batavia. Hi, Beth. How can we help you?
Hello there.
Hi.
My father recently passed, and I wondered what the amount of estate taxes are to New York State and also federal government. His full amount of estate and real estate in bank accounts is $337,000.
Okay. Right now, the state of New York is increasing its estate exclusion to get up to the federal exclusion. So right now, the federal is like I think it's $5.4 million before you owe any estate taxes. The New York State estate exclusion is around $3 million. So your dad doesn't have to pay estate taxes.
Oh, wonderful! Because I'm going crazy trying to think of how I'm going to get up this money to pay.
No. You won't owe any estate taxes. Now, that doesn't mean that the money that your dad left isn't subject to taxation to the heirs. So let's say that dad had IRAs. When the heirs inherit those IRAs, the heirs are going to have to pay taxes on it. Okay?
No, he had none of that. Nothing like that at all.
All right. And if there's just if he just had real estate and if that went through the estate and money, then you guys are going to inherit that and you're not going to have to pay any taxes on it.
Okay, what about the inheritance tax though?
But there is no inheritance tax unless it's over $5.4 million.
Oh my goodness! Thank you so much.
Okay.
I've always loved you, and I love you more.
I didn't make up the laws. Okay, Beth?
Thank you
All right.
so much.
I'm sorry to hear about your dad.
I got an answer from
Thank you.
Tim.
All right.
Tim said, I was listening to the show. You cannot use health savings accounts to pay
pay for the health
premiums. But if they have a high deductible plan of $2,000 or more, they can use the adjustment to income by contributing to a HSA account. Don't forget, if they're self-employed, they can also use their deduction as an adjustment.
All right. So if you, and that's for that lady that called in the last segment.
Sue.
If you have an HSA, you cannot use your HSA to pay your health insurance premiums. But if you do pay your health insurance premiums, those have to be an itemized deduction. So you can put the money into the HSA, and I guess you have to use it for regular health savings,
Right.
Health insurance
Right.
issues. I mean, health matters.
Yep. And thank you, Tim.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. All right, let's go back to the phones, and we got Helen in Lewiston. Hi, Helen.
Hi, Esther.
Hi, how can we help you?
I'm due to receive a considerable amount of money in the next few weeks from my husband's life insurance policies.
Okay.
I'd like to know, do I have to pay income tax on that next year?
The life insurance portion is going to be tax-free. Any income that was earned while they were holding the life insurance before they distributed it to you in the form of interest is going to be taxable. But that will be a very, very small portion. So as long as it was a life insurance policy, not a whole life policy, then you're going to get that tax-free.
So it's the gain that's taxable.
All right.
But
okay,
not, but,
thank you very much. That's
yeah.
what I needed to know.
Okay, thanks, Helen.
All right.
All right, thank you. I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady from EG Tax, 803-0930, 803-0930, star 930 on a cell phone. Another thing that people don't know about, and I know we got people calling in, is debt cancellation.
Right.
You know, when you're watching these programs on TV and they say, and we can cancel your debt and you're going to trick the bank
Or
and
a lot of
everything,
student loans.
or anything like that.
Yeah.
Debt cancellation is fully taxable.
That's right.
Unless you are insolvent at the time that the debt was canceled or it was for your personal home.
Yep. That's exactly
So,
right.
or you did a bankruptcy. So you want to make sure that before you do a debt cancellation and you call your credit card companies and say, will you take $5,000 on a $20,000 credit card? That $15,000 that they forgive is taxable, potentially.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's added to income on line 21, potentially, of your 1040.
Right. And then the other thing, speaking of people that were behind the eight ball that I saw this past week, many times, you know, you got the credit card debts and you really want to get out from under, and you got your pension plan, and without any counsel, you just go and cash in $100,000 out of your pension plan, and you're under the age of 59 and a half, so you're going to pay full income tax on the federal, full income tax on the state, and a 10% penalty.
Correct.
Before you do that, get a second opinion. See if there's not another way for you to get your debt paid down without taking money from your pension plan, because that's the least advantageous place to do it. And EG Tax is there all the time. We're there 9 to 5, excuse me, this time of year. Call and we'll run the numbers for you.
For instance, there's one of my clients, and every year, sadly, they're about 45, 46, 47-year-old people, and their husband, he has a cancer and he only works part-time, and the wife works part-time, and they get earned income credit. And they took money out of their pension, and they lost their earned income credit, and they really bank on that every year.
Yep.
And so if they would have just sought counsel beforehand, we could have given them that information.
So I guess what we're saying is use EG Tax as a resource. We don't charge to answer your questions. It's so good to get that second opinion. So and if we don't know, we're going to find out, because that's what we do. We don't want you to make a mistake.
And then before we forget, we said potentially the cancellation of debt is not taxable. And if you're insolvent, you could possibly do a Form 982, and that's the other piece of the puzzle.
Right. I had somebody this week that had a debt cancellation of $25,000, but at the time of her debt cancellation, she really had she had less assets than she had liabilities, more than the $25,000. So I could do that form and get her out from under that penalty. But you need to know before you do it.
Yeah, because they really like backup on that.
I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady, 803-0930, 803-0930, star 930 on a cell phone. And let's go to Matt in Hamburg. Hi, Matt.
Hi, Esther. How are you?
What's happening?
Hey, I've got a quick question about the governor's student tuition plan.
Yep.
And so my wife and I are over currently the threshold.
Mm-hmm.
We have a son that's going to UB. We have a daughter that's potentially going to a New York State college. So when I contacted the other Esther at your Hamburg office, she indicated three things. One, that we could help by putting more money into my wife's 401 and my 403B. But the question was, we also have rental property in Fredonia, and it nets us a lot. Will that be helpful or impactful on the situation or not?
All right, so it's your adjusted gross income. So let's just say that you and your wife, because the $100,000 is the initial threshold this first year as they're phasing it in. So let's say you and your wife right now are at $110,000, right, including your rental property. So you got a $10,000 problem. So you can mitigate that $10,000 because adjusted gross income, and right now we're short on details, okay, Matt? So I'm helping you as best as I can because I am short on details. But let's say that we want to get our adjusted gross income down to under $100,000. So if included in your $110,000 AGI is your net profit from your rental, there's not much money. There's not much you can do with the rental. But what you can do is put $10,000 in your 401k or 403b or IRA to get that, so you can get that line 7 income down from wages, so you come under that $100,000 threshold.
And I think to answer your question, your loss is helping you on your rentals.
He was saying it was making you money.
No, he said you had a loss on it every year, Matt, right?
Yeah, we have a net loss, at least tax-wise, between depreciation.
Yeah.
And
okay, so it is helping you.
Yeah. And
does the 401 and 403 are contributions? Is that a dollar for dollar situation?
Yeah, I mean, if it's not, we're not talking taxable. We're talking about money that is gone from your wages. So let's say you and your wife make $110,000, but you put $10,000 this year into your 403b, IRA, 401k, whatever. So then your wages go from 110 down to 98. You still have the money set aside on the right-hand side, but what's on your tax return is $98,000 and reduced by your rental property, so you'd be well under.
Okay.
But that's why, especially now, people that are listening, you want a tax plan, because if you want your children to go to school for free, and I use quote unquote free, somebody's going to pay. You want to make sure that you're in every position, the best position possible, so that you don't find out when you go to sign up your kid for college that you didn't make it because of one thing or another. And I will tell you, once the details come out, we will be giving them on this program.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Matt. I'll tell you, if you're, that's right, I got a break for news. I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone. We'll see you on the other side.
Tell me you like that music.
I don't know that music. Hey, I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady, EG Tax, here to help you to talk taxes, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone. So we're kind of kvetching over bad things that happened last year.
And before, I got to say, before the show, one of the guys from Mike and Glenn's show was here, and you were conversing with them, and we were talking about the health, the new education for free education for New York State colleges and what have you. And you said, rightfully so, he was at Niagara University today. These private colleges
are scared
out of their bejesus. They got to be really scared, you know. And I know. So are they going to be looking for government funding too? I mean, they got to be really nervous, and it's just something to think about.
Yeah, I know. I have several professors that are at private colleges.
Yeah, me too.
And they're saying, I don't know.
Right. I mean, And then, but somebody's told me, and maybe you know, Esther, we got to find out more details, is there used to be a time in New York's history when they had New York State colleges were paid for if you lived within the state and you were a moderate to income person. So one of my clients told me that this is a product that was around before, about 70 years ago.
What, free
Education in New York State or something similar.
I don't know. I was not here in 70 years ago. Thank God. Anyway, let's talk to you. Taxes. I'm Esther Gullius, the tax lady, 8030930, 803. Getting back to that question that Sue asked, I got some more clarification. Can I use HSA to pay health insurance premiums? You can use HSA to pay long-term care insurance. If you can use HSA money to pay for health care contribution coverage under a COBRA plan. You can use your HSA health care coverage when you're receiving unemployment compensation and for Medicare. So
very good.
So there's kind
options.
of a caveat there,
yep.
Right? All right, let's go back over here. Let's say you haven't filed and they aren't writing you letters. And
happens all the time,
which means probably that you have refunds coming. This is especially when I was getting ready for the show here. I was thinking about moms and dads with kids that are working, maybe 16 or 17 years old, and the kid maybe only makes $3,000 or $4,000 a year, maybe only has $200 or $300 withheld, and the parents just don't file the return for them.
Right.
But the kids got refunds coming.
Yep.
So you want to make sure that if they aren't sending you letters, it's probably because you have refunds coming. So you want to, if you look over at Junior that's in the car with you today and say, Junior, did we file your return? No, we didn't. Let's take a look. If there's withholding and they made less than $6,000 on the federal and there's withholding, they got a refund coming. Now, and they probably owe New York State if they make more than $3,100.
That's right. That's kids generally do. Yeah.
Right. So just because if you haven't filed, you haven't heard, doesn't mean that you don't have money coming back. And some of you that are under the age of 65 that have lower income, maybe you're on Social Security, got a little part-time job, you might have an earned income credit coming.
That's right.
So you want to make sure before you just put that, you just say, oh, that tax year is over, I'm just not going to do anything with it.
I mean, I think about it all the time, all those kids who don't file and all that money that's just sitting there, and I wish they would file their return.
That's true. All right, let's go back to the phones, and we got Nick. Hey, Nick, Mr. Nick, how can we help you?
How you doing, Esther? I actually have a couple-part question here. I just filed my taxes this year, and I claimed my new daughter that was just born. And then I had gotten, last year I actually got a tax return back, but then I got kind of caught up this year because I didn't file 2011, 2012, 2013. And now they want to, I think it's like an E64 form that I have to fill out and get them taxes filed.
Okay.
And then with my girlfriend, we were told by another tax person, unfortunately it's not from your company, but it was from someone else, and they said that if we were to amend my taxes that for this year, at least we could get that credit this year, and she could claim my daughter, and then I could deal with my situation by filing those taxes.
Okay, well, I don't know the situation specifically. Do you two live together?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know who is the higher wage earner, but usually it's the higher wage earner that's going to claim the child. I think the easiest thing for you to do, Nick, is to do those tax returns, 11, 12, and 13.
Okay.
Our office is open 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. If all you have to do is call your employer. If you don't have the W-2s, we can get the transcript from the Internal Revenue Service.
45016.
To get those for you, so we can have those things knocked off in the morning. And then it's
so
all done.
Overwhelming, you know what I mean, when you find this out.
I know.
It kind of put me back, and I'm like, oh my goodness, now what do I do?
But that
and
rather than amending your girlfriend's return,
yes,
which is then going to, then they're closing your return. I would do the 11, 12, and 13 so that you know how those all shake up, and then go forward.
Esther?
Pardon me?
Is that something you pay out of pocket because it's so late?
Well, it all depends if you have a liability.
You
So
mean
you
for
may
the
not
tax
even have a
preparation?
liability if you got refunds coming. They're not going to give you 11, 12, and 13 refunds, but I think they think you owe money because they're
Right.
making you file.
I understand. Thank you
Okay.
very much. I
All right,
really
Nick.
appreciate it.
Thank you,
Have
sir. And again, our phone number at the office is 632-7886, and our website is egtax.com, so you can go there and look and make an appointment. The best thing, this is not going to go away.
Yeah.
Every year it's going to come up, Nick, so.
Worst part is he could have still filed 2013 2 weeks
He
ago.
could have, yep.
Yeah, which
True.
really.
Which might have been a refund. And,
Yeah, yeah.
But after 3 years, you lose the money.
That's right.
If you have a refund
But
coming.
you said sounded like he might have owed.
Because they're wanting him to file, now,
Right.
Which leads me to believe that maybe he has some deductions that'll offset him. Maybe he was in college. If he's a young guy, maybe his parents claimed him. Who
Retirement
knows?
savers
Yeah.
credits. Yeah.
Right, that's true. So again, the mystery won't be solved until the mystery's opened up.
Yeah.
I'm Esther Gulias, the tax lady, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on the cell phone, and we're going to go to Linda in Lockport. And Miss Linda, how can we help you?
Hi, ladies. Actually, Tiffany, I'm Linda from April 15th.
Hey there, Linda. How are you doing?
Very good, very good. I actually have something that I can contribute today.
Good.
I went to college 48 years ago in 1968, and Governor Rockefeller, Nelson Rockefeller, was governor at that time, and it was tuition free.
See, there you go.
And so all my parents had to pay for was room and board. I did go to Buffalo, but I didn't want to commute back.
How long did that last, Linda?
It took me 5 years to get a 4-year degree.
No, but I mean, so do you recall
1968.
when they started making it non-tuition?
Yes,
free
in my fifth year.
Fifth year.
In your
So it was 68, 69,
Now, what was
70,
the
and
okay?
71,
So politically, what were they saying? I mean, there had to be something that they were saying.
The reason why it came about was they were trying to cause the I'm gonna how to explain this. They wanted Afro Americans to get a quality education.
That's good.
So they opened it up tuition free for everybody, and because a lot of black people didn't even have a high school diploma, then there was a program that they got on where you were in college, taking college courses, but also getting your GED and getting all sorts of tutoring.
That's great.
And
That's great.
that was the initiative that
But then,
we were.
why is it after 5 years they said they shut it off? Do you recall?
Yes, they couldn't afford it anymore.
But that was very educational. That was cool.
Well,
See,
that's interesting. Thank you
and
for
you're
calling.
a product of it, and I know you had a good job, Linda.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because after I got that degree, I went to Niagara University on an assistantship, and so I got my master's from there.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was just because 2-year colleges just had started at the time. Niagara County Community College had only been open a year or two, and so you had to go to a 4-year college.
Well, we really appreciate your insight. Thanks, Linda.
Oh, you're welcome. I love this show.
Thank you, Linda.
and I've gotten so much out of it, and so I just wanted to contribute.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm Esther Gulias, the tax lady from EG Tax, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on his cell phone. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back with your calls on the other side. It sounds like someone's sleeping. I don't know, Frank. Okay, that's something good. I'm Esther Gulias, the tax lady from EG Tax with Tiffany Fabian. Where's Chris?
Chris is playing soccer with our daughter. Well, he's observing soccer. Observing soccer. He's with Gracie, and they went to look at a college, and then she went and played with her team, the Flash, and so she's doing really good. They lost today, but
yeah, you'd think tax season or something. He's just not here. Anyway, let's talk about, again, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on your cell phone. All right, another thing for this year is if you don't have health care, talk about a great opportunity to get great health advice. We have 2 healthcare navigators that are in the office, Karen and Tim. Karen O'Brien and Tim Eliason. And their job is to help you to get the least expensive, best health insurance possible. And they will tell you, I mean, there were people during tax season who had no health insurance, who had lower income. And I said, I think you qualify for Medicaid.
Yeah,
and they didn't know who to call. Just like that guy was saying about how overwhelming it is.
Right.
It is overwhelming. If you don't know who to call,
it's overwhelming.
And I brought him out to Tim's office, and Tim says, "Oh, well, we can get you the $20 whatever." And everybody was so happy. And that's something that you need to do. Otherwise, on the same token, I had a couple on the 18th made like $60,000, and they were they just got a house and they couldn't afford health insurance, and unfortunately they had about a $2,000 penalty.
Right.
And it was so sad, because they can't afford it.
But there's a lot of exceptions to the penalty too, and so there's change of living, death in the family.
She wanted to kill him, but I don't think that was the case. So you want to make sure if you don't have health insurance, don't rely on the fact that there's going to be change in health care on the federal level. There may be, we all know that there's problems with Obamacare, but in the meantime, you can only work with what you know right now.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
Let's go back to the phones. We'll talk to Joy. Hey, Joy. Can we help you, ma'am?
Yes. Could you please tell me what the minimum that you can work to earn with a single mother with 3 children to get the earned income credit, and what the amount would be for next year?
All right. So, Joy, you have 3 kids, and you have no other source of income?
I can work part-time.
But you have no other source of income?
No.
All right, because here's the way the earned income credit works. If you have earned income, and the maximum earned income is based upon 3 children maximum, okay, and you're under a certain income threshold, you get the earned income credit. But this is compared against, like, let's say if you had alimony. If you had $40,000 in alimony, that would substantially mitigate the amount that you would get for the earned income credit. And so that's why I wanted to know.
You don't have your Quick Finder with you.
I didn't have my Quick Finder. But anyway, the maximum earned income credit is when you have wages. You start from 0 till about $15,000 or $16,000 in wages, and the earned income credit gets bigger till you get to around 16. Then from about 16 to 18 or 19, it's flat. It's the maximum and it's flat. Then from 19 down to like 49,000, it gets smaller. So
for Joy,
the perfect income for Joy to get the maximum earned income credit would be about $15,000 to $16,000.
That's right. And boy, what a good question you asked, because there's a few clients that I'm with, and they have kids who are dependents, and they're not working at all, or they stop working, and I'm like, please go get a job, because you have this big earned income credit on the table, and you're just losing it.
It's like $4,800.
Yeah,
right. And then on the state of New York, there's another 20% that's at it. So you're talking about $6,000 that they give you that you didn't earn. And if you have and if you make more than $3,000, they give you $1,000 for each child that's under the age of 17. So now you're up to like a $9,000 or $10,000 refund with the state of New York.
So Joy,
on money you didn't even pay in. So if you made 15 and they're giving you 10, that's 25.
She asks a really good question,
and people don't understand it. People will be in my office and they'll say, I hear you on the radio and you talk about people getting money that they didn't pay in. That can't be right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it is right.
Yep.
There are a lot of things in our tax law that give you money even though you didn't pay in any withholding. And the Earned Income Credit and the Additional Child Tax Credit and the American Opportunity Tax Credit are just 3 examples of that.
That's right.
And the state of New York follows suit.
Yep, which is really nice.
And on the state of New York, if you have a daycare credit and you have no liability on the federal, the state of New York can give you like 30% of what you should have gotten on the federal as a refundable credit on the state. So that's also something that the state of New York does.
And there's the Empire State Child Tax Credit on the state. That's for kids between the ages of 4 to 17, and that's up to $330 a child. So they really try to help families, which is really good.
Right. And then the other thing is, and since this is like kicking off to summer, we're going to have all kinds of summer series.
Yep.
We're going to talk about
health
not
insurance.
Just taxes. We're going to talk about health insurance. We're going to talk about
offering compromises.
how to get your kids in college with the best financial aid package. And we're going to use the financial guys to help us with all of that. All those kind of things we're going to talk about. But the other thing is bookkeeping.
Well, I mean, accounting, if you're a small business, there's nothing more important than having your books together.
That's true. That's true. That's true. But since this is a kickoff to, when we're launching into the next tax season, something you want to do is tax plan. Mm-hmm. And I can't encourage you more than right now. Here it is, right after tax time. Come in and sit down with us. There's no charge to tax plan. Take a look at how to reduce your liability, especially in light of the truth of the matter is this free education with New York State. If you're somebody that has children that are approaching the age of college and your income's over $100,000, you should look at how to get it down.
Yeah. Yep. And my clients will say to me, how you just did in quotes free. They're like, they're going to raise our property taxes. They're going to raise our sales tax. The cost to register. There's going to be a way. It's got to be funded.
Yes, sirree, Bobby. So, but here's the thing. Come in for tax planning. EG Tax doesn't charge. Take a look at things. Now, what we do is we make suggestions. So we'll say, have you thought about doing this? Have you thought about refinancing your home? Have you thought about putting yourself on a budget so that we can get your credit cards down so that you aren't paying so much in interest? All these kind of things to help you to have more money so that you can more wisely invest it. And, fill up your 401k.
Yeah.
Open up an IRA. Do an SEP.
One thing my mother said to me that just always resonates is don't spend above your means. And so sometimes I try, when I'm spending, I think of my mother saying that to me.
But it doesn't seem to make any difference.
But you can ask Chris. I'm really, really crazy about paying my bills. I'd like to pay my bills.
Okay. Then, and pension plans. If you guys have pension plans at work and you're not in them and the employer does a match, look at yourself in the mirror right now and say, I am stupid. I'm not in the pension plan. Because if the employer will match up to 3% of your wages and you're making $40,000, that's $1,200, right? So if you put in $1,200, they put in $1,200. That means if you don't put in anything, they put in nothing. So make sure that you're in your pension plan.
And then really something really important I told one of my taxpayers this year, he's a pretty decent income earner and his wife doesn't work. And so they could put money into her IRA drawing off of his wages. Mm-hmm. And that was so cool to him. And he's like, oh my God, I never knew that.
That's true. And that's part of tax planning.
Right.
And remember, if our goal here is to send our kids to college free, you want to make sure you get that $100,000, your income under $100,000.
Yep.
Another thing is rental property is another great, like that guy that was saying that his rental property throws a loss. That all goes into adjusted gross income.
Right.
Now, the devils are in the details, but if they're strictly going by the adjusted gross income, rental property might be a great way for you to invest in an appreciating asset.
Yeah.
That would cause you to have a tax loss, that would reduce your adjusted gross income, and it might be another way to accomplish that $100,000.
You know where I'm going, but be very careful. If you're a moderate to high income earner, that loss is not going to be allowed. It's going to be suspended.
Right, but I'm talking about people at about $110,000.
Yep.
If you make $150,000 or more, then you aren't allowed any of those losses.
They're suspended.
Right, but you're not. But I'm looking at somebody around 110.
Right.
They might, some rental property and some modifications might be enough to get them so that they could send their kids to college free. Okay? And then, so a rental property is asset building, great tax deduction, and it's exchangeable. We have Russ Gullo, who's also going to be on in the summer, who can talk to you about getting out of your investment property, your rental property, absolutely tax deferred by doing an exchange.
That's right, which is great. And I think the more times I talk to people about it, and you don't have to get it in the same state. You could get a house in Florida, in California. You can exchange what you have here without worrying about those capital gains.
And the other thing is, looking at tax planning, you might have a great business opportunity that you're looking at starting a small business. Again, it's a great time to start a small business if you're trying to mitigate your overall adjusted gross income, because usually a business doesn't make money the first year to 2 years, and that would reduce your AGI. And then as you're making more and more money, then you could put money into a pension plan, because once you start making money in your business, then it opens up a lot of avenues for you to reduce your tax liability through some tax planning. Right?
That's correct.
So, anyway, we're so thankful for all of you who have been faithful listeners. We love doing the show. We love serving you. Again, if you're getting letters from the IRS or the state of New York, if they send you a shorted refund and you haven't gotten the letter, they will send you a letter.
Ignore it.
And don't ignore the letter, because if you ignore the letter, they're going to keep your money. And sometimes it's so simple to prove. And they're just saying, gee, you're a single father. I don't think you should be able to claim a child. Prove that the child is your dependent. And that's so easy to do.
And then there's also multi-states. If you had to follow multiple states, there's somebody who got a letter from Georgia. We also answer those letters, too.
And if you need help during the week, EG Tax, egtax.com, 632-7886. Thanks for everything. We love you. Have a great spring. I'm Esther Gulius with Tiffany Fabian. Until next week. Bye-bye.